Hi, so in this video I'll be solving an interview that Mastercard gave me back in 2024 when I was applying for the position of junior slash mid software engineer. Eventually I got an offer from them, I accepted it, and I'm still working at this company, and I got promoted to the position of senior software engineer. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. Uh, the purpose of this video is simply to let you know that not all of the interviews are that complicated. I know that there are tons of those videos about interviews on the FANG companies, those Google, Amazon, and all the other companies, and all of them are pretty complicated. They require you to know some of the algorithms, but in this case it was pretty simple. So let's move on straight to the task. This is the whole task. It was just a single page exercise that has 4 questions, the description, and the link that the data has to be fetched from to solve the questions. So let's just I'm not going to be going through the whole description, but basically we're fetching the list of monarchs that ruled in the UK, and we need to perform some data analysis on it. So here is the data itself. I have to fetch it from this URL. It's basically just a list of all of the objects with the same structure, with the ID, name of the king, the city that they ruled in, the house that they ruled for, I assume, and their years of ruling. So let's move on to the coding part. As you can see, that it has to be done in a simple single file console application written in C#. And I have my ID open here, and so let's start. So I'll just write an entry point here. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the client. Of course, I'm gonna be using keyword because I want to dispose of this client. We will be fetching the data from that URL, so I'm going to be using the sendAsync method. Let's create the request to define the HTTP method. I'm going to be using the initializers here. So the method will be get, and the request URI will be the one specified in the task. It will be the absolute one. Okay, and I'll just copy the link from here, paste it in here, and we will send the request here. Since we need to await this method, I will change the return type of our method to the asynchronous one, to the task, we will assign the response here, and let's read the content as string. Okay, it also needs to be awaited. The best way of reading the content is obviously reading it as stream, not as string, but just to avoid the memory fragmentation issues. But in this case, for the sake of time, let's read it as string, right? So I'll just specify this response content. Let's make sure that the data gets fetched and read correctly. So I'll just create an empty string here to put a breakpoint on it, and let's debug it. Okay, and as we can see, the reference to the string object is assigned correctly to the response content variable, and we have all of the objects in a list out here. So let's deserialize it. So in order to deserialize it, they offered us to use the Newtons of JSON. I don't think I have it installed in the nuggets, so let me quickly install it, and here it is. It's just the first package here in the list. Okay, it seems like it got installed. Or is it dog barking outside? I hope it won't be that audible. So JSON convert, yeah, okay, it's now installed, the static method, and let's deserialize it into the object. What object we will be deserializing it into is should be of the same structure as in this JSON. So it should contain the ID, name, city, house, and years. Okay, so let's define the object here. Let's call it a king, and it will contain the ID, name, city, house, and years, right? Okay, and it will be a list of all the objects. So yes. We're deserializing the string, and it will be the, let's call it a parsed content, or maybe just the kings, right? So the first task, the first question was how many monarchs are there in a list? So it is super simple, right? Just let's log it into our log stream. There are exactly this many kings in a list. Okay. Okay, the first task is complete. And the next one is which monarch ruled the longest. So in this case, we will need to subtract the first year of the ruling period from the second year of the ruling period. Pretty simple. Let's go. But for this one, I think we will need to have a separate definition here. Just to store the total amount of ruling years for each one of the kings. As far as I recall, all of the kings are unique here, so basically there aren't any repeated names, so it's good, it works for us. So let's maybe create a new definition here. Let's call it a ruling, or actually king ruling, that's it. Yeah, and it will contain the name of the king and the, actually it should be an integer, 32-bit integer, which is the year, or maybe the amount of years, right? Yep. And let's go through all of the kings in our parsed list. And we will instantiate the king ruling for each one of them, and the first one will be, of course, the name, and the second one, it should be the year. So we need to do the subtraction. I think I will define a separate method for this. It will be returning an integer. It will be a static one. Calculate the ruling years, and here there will be the string year, actually maybe just the period. Okay, and what we're gonna do first, we're gonna check because some of the years, some of the kings might have served only for 1 year. And I think also at the end of the list we have the king, the queen actually, that is still serving, and she's not serving anymore, obviously. The Elizabeth II died a couple of years ago, but yeah, let's just call it this ruling period will be equal to 1 year, basically. Yeah, let's assume that it this way. So first we need to, of course, check whether it contains this dash. If it contains the dash, actually if it doesn't contain the dash, let's do it this way. It doesn't contain the dash, or the first one, so the period, actually the second item after the splitting, is null or empty. There we go. Or is null or empty. Then we are returning only 1 year of ruling, and otherwise we will need to parse. We will need to parse the period. Since we are going to be subtracting the first one from the second, we will take the second year of the ruling period, we will parse it and subtract the first year from it. Okay, and that should be pretty much it. Let's break some of the lines here. I think there are too many parentheses here. Okay, and that should calculate the year for us. So now I will call this method with years, and that should calculate, and that should create a pretty nice list of all of the king's rulings for us, and queen's ruling years for us. So let's call this variable that will be storing the reference to the list of all of them, the ruling periods, maybe. And let's log the result. Of course, we need to order this list by the descending and take the first one, or the ascending and take the last king's name from this list. So let's call it just the ordered ruling periods. Ruling periods should be ordered by the descending in a descending order. And they should be ordered by the amount. Okay, and since they're getting ordered from the highest to the lowest, we will take the first one. So the highest ruling king is the one that is the first in the list. Okay, and here then we will log that the longest ruling king, the longest ruling king is this one, with the amount of years okay, so that the second task is completed. Let's see if everything runs fine. Okay, so the longest ruling queen actually here is Victoria, with the amount of years of 64, and there are 57 kings in a list. Cool. The next task was which house ruled the longest and for how long. And in this case, we can see that actually the houses repeat, unlike the kings in a list. So we need to calculate basically the amount of all of the houses combined. So I think it needs to be done with a dictionary, where there will be the name of the house and then the amount, and we will be looking for the house in this dictionary, and if such key already exists, we will be reading the value of it, the amount, and adding up the additional one there. I think it will be good, and I can actually do it with the already existing existing record. So I can just add the house here. Yes, and add the house, and since we have the ruling years for each one of the houses, we can add them up. So what I will do is I will loop through each one of them. So ruling periods, and let's create the dict of ruling periods, yeah, with the amount of their ruling years. And here I will try to get the value from here, which will be the name, and we will pass the reference to the variable in here. So let's call it a value, it's fine. And if it already exists there, dict of ruling periods, we'll take the name. If it already exists, then we're taking this value and we're adding up the value, value that is currently in this iteration. And else we're simply going to add the new king with their ruling amount. Okay, that sounds like it should give us each one of the, actually it shouldn't be the king name, right? We're not we're calculating the houses, so my bad here, it should be the house. And it should give us the full sum of all the years that each one of the houses ruled for. So let's log it. And I think we also need to order this dictionary, because yeah, we need to take only the longest ruling one. Yeah, so dict of ruling periods, and dict of ruling periods should be ordered by descending. Okay, hence they're ordered by the descendant. Again, we will have the first one will be the longest ruling one, so ruling periods, taking the first one, and let's call it the longest ruling house. It's not a house, it's basically the longest ruling, the longest king ruling, but you got the point, right? So the longest ruling, no, actually it is the, yeah, okay, it should be the longest ruling house only, not the not the king's ruling. Yeah, because I thought we were taking a list of all of the king rulings, but we're actually taking the list of key value pairs from the dictionary, so it should be fine. Anyway, the longest ruling house is this one, with the amount of years this one. That should do the work here. Let's verify the change here. Okay, so the longest one is the House of Hanover, with the amount of years equal to that one. Okay, let me verify the changes really quickly. I'll look through all of them. Okay, that sounds, that looks valid, I think. Dictionary of ruling periods. Okay, no, doesn't sound valid, because it should be this one. Yeah, I forgot that we are, yeah, I accidentally used the variable that was storing the reference to the list of all of the, yeah, king ruling objects too. Okay, so we need the list of all of the key value pairs. So in this case, the key is the name of the house, and the value in this key value pair is their ruling period. And now it should change. Yeah, okay, so 187 years. Okay, that sounds good. The next task, and it should be the last one actually here. And what was the most common first name here? I think it's, yeah, I feel like it's even simpler. We can also do it with a dictionary. Yeah, let's call it a rule in rule-in periods, because the rule-in periods are here, right? Rule-in periods, yes, these are the rule-in periods with calculated years there. Okay, and what was the thing here? The most common first name. So we need to split split the name by the white space and take the first one from it. Okay, the first item from it. Let's also create a dictionary here. I'll call it names, just because I'm kind of lazy with the names today. And I will try to get the value from here. Okay, rule-in, and it should be name, split it. Actually, I'll just split the first name here, so in the beginning of each one of the iterations. So okay, copy the first name. Actually, if it even contains it there. But let's move on. So as we're not splitting the name here anymore, I'll just pass the reference to the variable, which will be the value once again. And here then we will take the first, we will call the square brace property and add up 1 to it. Why 1? Because we want to simply calculate the frequency of these names. And else, if it's not present in a dictionary, then we are gonna add the new name that might persist, and it is the first one, so we are initializing the counter. And that should be it. Yeah, so the ordered names will be just the names ordered by, let's call it, let's order it by ascending this time, right? By the key. Actually, did I order it by the value? No, not by the key, but by the value, because the counter is the value. And the longest, or actually the most frequent name is ordered names last, because we're ordering by ascending, so from the lowest to the highest, right? And that's pretty much it, I think. I will not read the name from it. I won't read the key, because I want to log it also with the value, how many times this name repeated. So the most frequent name is frequent name key with the amount of the value here. Let's check with the amount of 11. So the name Edward repeated 11 times throughout the whole list. Sounds valid. I think, yeah, I think it should be all good. And let's also verify, are there actually that many of those Edwards? Edward, and all of the other ones. Okay. I wanted to also debug it real quick, just to see that the splitting is actually working just fine. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it, and that's the whole task.